The Libernovo Omni might be the most comfortable chair I've ever tested. Yes, even better than the S-tier Embody, Fern, Aeron, or Leap. It's the most unique design I've seen since Anthros. It's still early days, but I can see this chair was built for working, gaming, and definitely relaxing. We're always excited heading to NeoCon knowing there's a new chair to test out, and this year that was the Omni. Sometimes a chair will feel amazing at the show, but then we get it home and realize maybe it was just the hype that made it seem so great. They did a lot of research and they have the data to back it, but what really matters to me is it comfortable. So now that I've given it a full test, I'll go over all the comfort features and point out a few of the chair's shortcomings. Frances was so excited to test this chair out for herself that she assembled it while I had to run to a meeting. It took her about 20 minutes and she rated it an 8 out of 10 for ease of assembly. Before I even sat down, I could feel how softly padded the cushions were. So let's get into seat comfort first. The seat is constructed with a multi-density cushion to evenly distribute pressure. This means that the seat pad is more firm at the back and less firm to the front where less of your weight rests. It's hard to show this on camera, but this is something you can really feel in person. On top of that, they gave the pad a contoured design with relieving domes in the frame. In actual use, these design choices combine together to make a super comfortable seat, perfectly suited for long hours. The firmness in the rear supports your sit bones, while the softer front lets you sink in and improve circulation. So that odd cape thing I was wearing in the intro, that wasn't just some kind of cosplay. That is a pressure mapping vest. It shows how my weight is evenly distributed while sitting in the Omni chair. When we look at some of these other high-end office chairs, you can see more red spots where there's greater pressure points. The one chair that seemed evenly spread out like the Omni was the Haworth Fern chair. In my next Libernovo video, I'll go deeper into these comparisons. It will take me more time to know if this seat is good for my body long term, but my early take, this seat is S tier. There's a lot going on with this backrest. To put it simply, a soft pad combined with flexible support. But then you add in a battery-powered piston to stretch your back. Now Libernovo described the backrest as triple layer fit with deep support. So the top layer is a very soft fabric. It's elastic, so it stretches as you move in the chair. As we move deeper, next is the foam padding. To me, this feels like the same density as the front of the seat. Now just think about what it would feel like to lean into a giant marshmallow. I sink in just the right amount into this backrest without ever feeling any hard frame or nodules, even when at full recline. The third layer is their posture support, basically the frame of the chair. Libernovo describes this as firm yet flexible support. I don't know if firm is a word I would use in any way, but I see it as a good thing. I suppose what they're trying to convey is that you have a solid support system to keep your back aligned. Looking at that pressure map again, you can clearly see how my weight is evenly spread throughout, not only in the seat but also here at the backrest. When I move in the chair, the backrest dynamically follows my back, providing continuous support. Along with that, the seat cushion moves with the hips, maintaining full contact. I realize you're anxiously waiting to hear about that back-stretching, battery-powered piston, so here we go. Libernovo never calls this a lumbar support system, which is likely the terminology that traditional office chair brands would use. But that's really what I would call it, and in actual use, you can dial in your preferred amount of lumbar support. It reminds me a lot of how my powered lumbar adjustment works in my car. Now fully extended, there's certainly more support than you would ever need, and even fully retracted, it still may seem more pronounced than people would prefer. This feature can be also used as a traction stretch. At NeoCon, a Libernovo representative compared this motion to a yoga pose. So don't think of it as a massage, but rather a stretch for your back. I found it pushed right up to the edge of being uncomfortable before reversing back. I even had my back let out a good pop a couple times. Honestly, it felt like my spine was saying thank you. The armrests are going to be the first part of the Omni chair where I'm not S-tier impressed. Honestly, they have some innovative designs, but they also have some problems. The arm pad adjustment range is large, with huge depth and pivot motion. It also features an armrest width adjustment, similar to that of the Herman Miller Embody. The innovation comes with how they dynamically slide as you recline in the chair. This keeps your arms supported, so you can type at almost any recline angle. But one issue is I wish they went about an inch lower. My arms and therefore my shoulders are slightly up higher than I need them to be, even when at the lowest setting. There's also some play in the arms, likely due to how they keep this dynamic motion. The pads have a good amount of cushioning in them, so I'll still keep these arms at about a B+ tier. When it comes to recline, the Omni forces me to do something in an office chair that I never do, and that's actually use the tilt lock. The reason is it just goes so far back, and the only time I'll ever use the full recline is when I'm going into the backstretch mode. On most chairs, I like to free recline and then dial up the tension to hold me in place. With the Omni, if I leave it wide open, it's really hard to not go all the way back. The tension is responsive, but there's a breaking point, and if you hit that spot, there's no turning back, you're going to full recline. There are 4 different tilt lock positions, ranging between 105 degrees and 160 degrees. The last tilt lock position before fully unlocked puts you in a position where you can have a deep recline but still be able to type and mouse efficiently. Once the headrest is adjusted just right, it's really comfortable to work like this. The closest comparison I can think of is the human scale Freedom that puts you in a very similar position. I touched on the headrest and how it relates to recline, but what I didn't say, it's one of my favorite headrests I've ever tested. And Libernovo includes this with the chair. They bring the same soft pad and elastic fabric from the backrest up into the headrest. I'm never a every chair must have a headrest kind of guy, but I found with the Omni, I'm almost always using it. With height and depth adjustment, it can be positioned to work good for upright tasking, but also feel amazing in recline. The headrest really moves with your neck, so it keeps your eyes level with the screen. It does have a bit of a wobble to it, but I give it a pass here, and that's because this seems to be what allows it to flex and move with you. I've been gushing about this chair more than I can remember doing for a long time, but let's touch on a couple of those problems. I mentioned the wobble in some parts, mainly the arms and headrest. This is the trade-off for having so much adaptability. There's also a limited range of people that will fit in the chair. Libernovo recommends the chair for users between 5'2" and 6'3". The seat height doesn't go super low, so if you're 5'4" or shorter, you might need the included footrest. If you're tall like me, you might find that the seat depth is too short. There's also a couple features that I personally would exchange for a cheaper price: the footrest and that stretching motor. While I do think I'd use the stretch feature, I'd like to see a lower price version of this chair without the motor. Finally, the warranty period isn't great when compared to other chairs in this price range, and the Libernovo does not have a long established track record. We haven't seen the Omni in the market yet, but the MSRP is $1,098, and we've been told to expect the retail price to be around $1,000. Comparing it to other chairs in this price range, it would definitely be one of my top picks. Just for comparison's sake, all of the other chairs I've referenced in this video are well over that $1,000 price point. Click the link in the description to back Libernovo's Kickstarter. You'll have the opportunity to get the chair for as low as $698. It might be too soon to call the Omni God tier, but it's at least S tier for the price point. It really gives our current S tier lineup a challenge.